Hello, Centralia. I'm Shane Lothar.
And I'm Rachel Roddy.
And this is Centralia on Air. Thank you so much for joining us. Last week on the show, we had Misty Ulmer and Becky McEllows from Kaskaskia College in studio. Becky and Misty stopped by to talk about KC's nursing program. Hey, speaking of nursing, did you know Japan's exam for foreign nurses is so difficult that it's only been passed by 96 out of 741 test takers in the last few years?
7 hours, 240 questions.
A 7-hour test?
Holy moly.
Yeesh. A nurse must pass this exam, which is written in Japanese, of course, within 3 years, or they are sent packing. They're gone. They're going home.
Oh, my.
Only 11% of 415 foreign nurses who took the test last year even passed it.
Something else you may not know? Do you know why nurses bring red magic markers to work? It's in case they have to draw blood.
Oh, that's cute, Rachel. That reminds me of the last time I got a flu vaccine. The nurse was, a little bit younger, clearly nervous, and I was just like, you know what? Give it your best shot.
Oh, my gosh.
Anyways, that was last week, but this is this week.
That's right. On today's show, we have 3 special guests in studio. Gayla Harting came by to promote the Elmwood Speaks. But first up, we're going to talk with Kaskaskia College Cheryl Boehne and Amy Troutt about admissions at KC and some things high schoolers can do to get ready for college. All right, Cheryl and Amy, thank you so much for being here today. Start off and tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, good morning. Thank you for having us. My name is Cheryl Boehne. I am the Director of Admissions, Registration, and Dual Credit at the college. I'm from Carlisle. I graduated from the high school there, attended KC, and then went to Louisiana Tech University to get my bachelor's in education, and moved back to the area about 20 years ago.
All right. Amy?
Hello, I'm Amy Troutt, and I'm the Director of Student Engagement at Kaskaskia College. So that area oversees the areas such as recruitment, academic advising, student life and activities, and career services. I am from Salem, born and raised in Salem, went to Salem High School. I'm also a proud graduate of Kaskaskia College. I transferred to several four-year colleges, kind of got the sampler of the four-year college experience, and finished my undergrad degree at SIU Carbondale. Went on to get my master's at McKendree and had great experiences there as well. But that's a little bit about myself.
Okay, so you guys are in full swing right now, getting people ready for fall classes, right?
Yes, we start classes on Monday, August 13th. So we are heavy with seeing students and getting them registered for the semester. We're also hosting a special registration event on Saturday, August 11th, at the main campus and all of our education centers, and that will be from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m.
All right, Amy, so tell us about the recruitment part. What schools do you go to? What are some ways that you recruit kids to come to KC?
So we do recruit within the area high schools, and there are 17 high schools within our district throughout 5 different counties. I could list all 17 if you like, but we do have great relationships with our high school partners, and we're very fortunate to be able to go in. We actually have about a monthly presence in those high schools, and a lot of times we're going in doing some very purposeful things, whether that's helping students sign up for dual credit, just helping them through the whole process to prepare to go to college. And so that certainly is one way we recruit, is by building those high school relationships and that follow-up with the high school students. But we also serve non-traditional students outside of the high schools as well. We have an active adult education program that prepares people to go on and get their high school equivalency, formerly known as GED is what a lot of people know that as. And so that's also a population that we have real strong ties to be able to serve more of that non-traditional student population, as well as people in the community that maybe are looking for a job change. We've got some strong partnerships with, like dislocated worker, people that may be looking for a career change. So lots of different avenues that we can recruit from.
Now, how many people help you recruit and go around? Is it just you?
It's not just me. I do have a team whose job really specifically entails recruitment. We've got, there's probably about 3 of us staff members that's a real strong part of our job description. But really at KC, the mentality is that everybody is a recruiter and everybody's a representative. So it is a team effort. We have various staff members that serve as liaisons to the high schools that are just a part of that community and try to be a part of the culture. And also our faculty are very highly involved in the recruitment process. So a lot of them are out, in those same venues I talked about, promoting their specific program, whereas those of us recruiting are really selling the college in general. The faculty really know their programs best to be able to recruit students. So it's a team effort all the time.
Sounds like, in a way, everybody's a KC cheerleader, huh?
Yeah.
That's right. We've got the best. You guys aren't going to make us do a cheer right now, are you? Is that like a setup?
Yeah. Do you have a cheer?
I know. We'll work on that for the next time.
Yeah, next time get us a cheer.
Cheryl, how about you? How many people are in the admission office?
We have 5 enrollment specialists, a registrar, and myself. In our admissions, we take care of not only admissions, but also registration, graduation, the student records, and then I also oversee the education centers.
Random question.
Okay.
Do you have any idea how many classes you guys actually offer?
I do not know that.
A lot.
A lot. We have a semi that sits on the parking lot on the main campus, and it does advertise like 49 different degrees and close to that same number of certificates in the career and technical, and then along with our associate in arts and associate in science degrees.
Okay.
Oh.
Rachel and I were wondering if you had any recommendations of maybe like a good one-off class, maybe for, like an adult who's not necessarily going back to college per se, but wanted to, further their education a little bit. Are there any classes that come to mind?
We do have a community education department that offers a lot of those self-exploratory type courses that we offer a wide variety of courses along that line. Special interests. We have, right now, gardening and the whole kind of organic thought is out there. We offer courses in that. A lot of computer courses. The older generations wanting to learn Excel, wants to learn how to use the internet, how to use their phones. We offer classes in that. Special interest. Do we need somebody here that needs that?
Oh, no.
No. We also offer for children during the summer. We have our KIC program. So we're offering classes for students to learn things. We have science or nature, pet care, different topics like that.
She came in and talked all about the KIC program.
Great.
Yeah.
Great.
So
I put my daughter through a couple kicks.
Yeah.
Dinosaurs, I think. And,
my son
and
did that
ocean
one. They were probably buddies in that class.
Yeah? Cool. Okay, so what do high schoolers need to be doing right now to get ready for the application process?
So we have a lot of opportunities for high schoolers to get a jump start or to get ready, so at all ages. So even as early as their freshman year, we have opportunities for high school students to start taking college credit in affordable ways. So whether that's dual credit right in their high school classrooms, that's free. We also offer what's called Jump Start, which allows high school students to take a class with the college each semester for half the tuition cost. So that can certainly add up to, we have a lot of students who might come in with a year or more worth of college credit just from their dual credit and Jumpstart. I've even had students complete, it's aggressive, but the associate degree by the time they finish high school by taking advantage of all those opportunities.
Wow.
We also offer now what's called the after-school college program, where students can select from a list of courses that they can take for free as well. So that we're actively promoting that. So those are all ways that students can really start getting a jump start. But in terms of preparing for the application process, for us at KC especially, the application process is fairly simple. There's no application fee, and so students can go online and apply at any time. But we do also go into the high schools throughout the year, and if students come to those visits, we walk them through each step of that enrollment process with them. We'll sit down at the computer lab, help them with the application, but it's never too early to start exploring the scholarship opportunities. That's a big one. To start considering, where those resources are. We offer a lot at KC, but there's so many community resources as well, and so building those partnerships, getting involved in the extracurricular type activities and things, and just having that kind of consistency for their essays and letters of recommendation and things like that are all really helpful too.
That's great that you guys go into the high schools like that and really break it down for them.
I remember that.
Yes.
It can be very daunting.
It can, and we do try to make it easy, and I think that is one of the advantages of community college, is that, in the whole 4-year process, we see a lot of students that just kind of get lost in the process, and parents as well. It is overwhelming, and, trying to meet those deadlines, and so students just sometimes get swallowed up in that. And so we really want to be able to hold their hand initially through that process and make it easy, and then teach them and prepare them for that segue to a 4-year atmosphere when they're ready to transfer, so that they don't get lost in that.
Let's talk a little bit about dual credit. I know it saved my life and a lot of money. So explain what that is and what kids should really be taking classes that are dual credit.
I'll speak a little bit to the dual credit. So the dual credit is the opportunity for students to be earning college credit at their high schools the same time they're taking their high school courses. Several advantages to dual credit is, one, it saves the families money. Our dual credit program at KC is free, so there's no tuition charge, there's no textbook charge. So that is definitely one of the highlights of the advantages. The other thing, as Amy talked about, it does give them a jump start. So they can take courses that will then, once they get to college, it will lighten their load. Some may be on a fast track. They may be able to graduate a year, a semester earlier than a typical college student. The other thing that it does is that it gives them a taste of what a college course is going to be like, but they're in the familiarity of their own school environment. So they're more comfortable with it. They can see they can be successful. That's one thing that, we do see students maybe sometimes don't think that they are college material. So by being successful in a comfortable environment, they can see that they can be. Every high school is different as far as what dual credit courses they are able to offer. We do have state guidelines and federal guidelines that we have to follow. One of the big ones is the credentials of a faculty member. They have to meet certain criteria, just like our full-time and adjunct college instructors have to do. So that does, has a big impact on what can be taught at each of the high schools. A lot of the courses are geared more towards juniors and seniors, and we just really encourage students to take advantage of as many courses as they can. Amy alluded to that, students can come out of high school with, between dual credit, the Jump Start program, and now this new after-school program with, easily a semester completed, if not more. And get that early start on college.
Yeah, for the overachievers.
Yeah.
Or the go-getters, we'll call them.
The go-getters.
Those were my friends.
One thing I failed to mention, when we talked about the people we have supporting recruitment, we actually have also students under scholarship whose purpose is just to help recruit their peers. So those are called students in recruitment, and they receive a full tuition scholarship, and their role, they really do help just support recruitment. So they go out into the high schools with us and can kind of be recognizable, certainly in their own high schools, but sometimes more approachable, when they're talking to their peers, and to be able to ask questions and talk from a student perspective. So they're also really valuable, a part of that recruitment team.
Yeah, that seems like a cool team to be a part of.
Yeah.
Okay, so if someone's got questions and they want to get a hold of you guys or your departments, what should they do?
For the admissions office, they can contact us at 545-3040 directly. The college also has a main line, which is 545-3000, that they can call, and we can direct them to any office that they need to be. We also have email. They can email us at kcadmissions@kaskaskia.edu.
Okay.
Well, I don't think we have to confuse them with too many numbers. If they dial that main 3000 line, then they're going to get somebody that'll get them in the right hands. We all work pretty closely together, and the goal is just to get students to the next step where they need to be.
Yep. Okay. Anything we missed?
We would like to plug some events that are going on right now, in addition to the special Saturday registration that, as I mentioned, is going to be August 11th at main campus and all of our education centers. Also, right now, we are out at our education centers in the afternoons. We have a team from the main campus that is going out to the education centers. We started last night at our Nashville center, and we targeted recent graduates from the high schools that maybe have not yet committed to what they're doing, and if they are interested in coming to KC in the fall, we're encouraging them to come to the center, and we've provided extra support there to get them registered. In addition to that, Amy mentioned the after-school college program, and I don't know if you want to speak a little bit more about that.
Sure. So the After School College program is a program that's actually been sponsored by our college foundation, and they have made the commitment to financially sponsor this program that will allow students to take classes free. So the goal of this was to recoup some of the losses that families in the community experienced by some of the dual credit cuts in the high school. That was a big financial hit. Some of those classes, were big savings. So the high schools came together, administration from those high schools we partner with, to select from those losses what classes are the most valuable for their students in their region. And so from that, we developed a schedule of classes. Some are at the education centers in the evenings, some online, some on the main campus, that those high school juniors and seniors from any of our high schools throughout the district can take any of those classes for free. And so that is piloting this fall for the first time, and the fall and spring schedules are currently out. But our new college president, George Evans, is going to be out in the community at those education centers, promoting or just answering questions, interacting with parents and community members about that program specifically. Those are great ways to come and find out about free college credit. There's no strings attached. Everybody always thinks there is, but it really is just a way to get students that head start and to help families within our community to save those dollars.
I had no idea there was so many opportunities for free classes like that. What a big help for these kids.
It really is, and I think sometimes the parents are like, yes, let's do this, and it's the students that maybe are a little hesitant, but it is a great opportunity, and we've had so many successful stories of students that, just get that head start and that comfort, and just really encourage students to take advantage of that.
Definitely.
All right, Cheryl and Amy, thank you guys so much for being here today, and we hope to have you back again sometime.
Thank you for having us.
You're listening to Centralia on Air with Shane and Rachel. We'll be right back.
Shane and Rachel here. This is Centralia on Air. We have Gayla Harting with us today, and she's here to talk about the upcoming event, Elmwood Speaks.
All right, Gayla, thank you so much for being here today. Today we're here to talk about Elmwood Speaks, but first, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm Gayla Harting with the City of Centralia. I am the Director of Community Development and the Planning and Zoning Administrator for the city, and I'm over the Code Enforcement Office. So that's what I do professionally, and then I'm a wife and mom and, grandma a little bit, the whole thing.
Okay, Elmwood Speaks. For those that don't know, like me and Rachel.
Yeah, we didn't know.
What is this thing?
Elmwood Speaks. All right, are you ready for all this? You'll love it. You'll be there this year after we talk. This year, September the 13th through the 16th, which is a Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, is Elmwood Speaks. They start them off at the Cultural Society about 5:30, and the first tour out at the cemetery starts about 6 o'clock. The tickets are $10 a piece, and you can get those through the Centralia Cultural Society office over on East Rexford behind St. Mary's Hospital. Their phone number for those tickets is 532-2951. But Elmwood Speaks, the Parks and Cemetery Advisory Board for the city has done this now for several years, coming off of the ideas down in New Orleans at the historical cemeteries. They actually do tours through there. So someone said, why not do that here in Centralia with Elmwood? We have a lot of history, and so it began. So the Parks and Cemetery Advisory Committee each year, Karen Krause, who is our main poobah for the Elmwood Speaks, comes up with 7 or 8 different people that were buried out in Elmwood Cemetery and finds the history of them, and they are either from Centralia or somehow their life impacted Centralia in some way. Again, buried out there, and people can buy their ticket, and they go to the Cultural Society. They'll watch a small slideshow that Karen puts together. They'll load up on a shuttle that is donated to us from Kaskaskia Workshop, so I want to really thank them for donating that shuttle every year. That shuttle then goes on out to Elmwood Cemetery, where they're dropped off usually around the office area, to 6 golf carts, and we'll have 2 sets of 6 golf carts going through the cemetery all the time, and they will then start their tour stopping at each gravesite where the people had been buried, with actors that, again, Karen gets through the Cultural Society, who donate their time to come out all that week and act for us, and they step from behind their stone or their area and tell the good evening, I'm so-and-so, and I've been here since this year, and this is what I did for the city, and it's just really, really neat, and it's so neat to see the community come together, because this is all, people out there volunteering to do this. Like I mentioned, we have 12 different golf carts running every night, so that's 12 different people that spend the entire evening, out there helping us out. The 8 actors are out there. My entire Parks and Cemetery Advisory Committee is out there helping, doing different things, and it's a great week almost.
Yeah, it sounds cool. I mean, if it's good enough for New Orleans, it's good enough for Centralia.
Yeah.
Right?
We need to get a little gumbo out there or something. Yeah.
So how long does a tour last?
We do those about, I would say, an hour from start to finish. Like I said, start there at the Cultural Society with a small slideshow. And that slideshow Karen puts together, just telling you a little bit about each person that you're going to see, because you don't know before you go out anything about the tour as far as who you're going to see or what they did. So that allows you to see a little bit about them, and then they'll go out and they'll tell their story. And I have a lot of people, as they come through, will be like, I loved having that little bit of the slideshow beforehand, because when I got out, I'm like, oh, that's that guy, But then he goes ahead and tells a whole lot more about himself.
Because it's a surprise, right?
It is.
They don't
Karen,
announce it before.
Correct. Yep. Karen does the 8, and I will find out only because I help her go out and do the path that the carts will take. She swears me to secrecy and everything, you know. And we just do that. Again, like I said, we have the 2 different sets of 6 carts going at the same time. So you don't ever want to be at a stop where an actor's portraying and you've got 6 carts that have to go around you or something.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit of work for her. I mean, it's a lot of work for her, and then it's a little bit of work to get out there to make those cart paths work throughout that entire cemetery. And if you haven't ever been to Elmwood Cemetery, it's huge. It's a big lot. Yeah.
So this is really awesome. And you talked about they don't repeat the same person every year.
They never have.
So
Yeah.
it's new.
Every time.
Yeah.
So if you have ever been before, and that's another reason they sell out every year very quickly.
Yeah.
Because if you went to the first year, the second year, you didn't see the same show. It's been different every year. And there has never been an actor, or I'm sorry, there's never been a person portrayed more than once so far. Some year they'll have to go back
they'll
and
go back.
redo.
But that will be awesome.
I would love that. But
Yeah.
no, Karen
Because
does
if you
that.
went one of the other years, you're like,
Yep.
hey, I want to see this one again.
Again, yeah. And I'm sure there'd be different information they could tell about that
yeah.
same person. Yep.
So how do they find the information about the person that they're going to portray?
Karen Kraus, again, starts that, but then she has help from the Historical Museum here in town. Peggy Jones, Allison Austin, those gals up there, they help her a lot with research and everything. And then sometimes she'll have one that she actually knew about. Like Don Ford was here with me last time I was on. His great-grandfather was portrayed, is buried out in Elmwood. And so if she knows the family, she might then go to them if she doesn't have enough for like a 15-minute spiel, if you will, and see about a few extra things. The other thing is we always like to, like with Don, to let him know.
Yeah.
And so he can go out there. So that's something we need to work on to
That's what I was going to
out.
ask you, if you tell the family if they're going to do
in the
that.
past, she hasn't, but here's the thing. Because Elmwood's so old, these people have passed away like Civil War time.
Yeah.
So you can't find family members that easy, and so they didn't, only really because, one, they didn't think they could find so many of them. But if I were to know you and find your family, but someone else's was there and I didn't try to, it wouldn't be fair. So we just kind of leave that alone.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And our very own Doug played Don Ford's great-grandpa.
Yes, he did last year and did a wonderful.
He did it very well.
Yes, he did. He did a wonderful job. Yep, Doug's a good one. And I'll tell you this, on the 7 or 8 actors that we have out there, because you're out in the open and out at the cemetery, there's no microphones, for them to do it. So they have to speak loudly and then throw that voice. And Doug, he is good. Yes, he is. You tell him. Hey, watch it now.
He has some practice.
You mean he yells at you guys? I'm teasing. No, he does very well, because that is one of the things we always try to remind the actress and the actors is, speak up so everyone can hear. So with the golf carts, too, you're on those, and you've got to be able to hear them. When we come to a complete stop, we always allow people to step off if they'd like to and get a little closer. But a lot of times, elderly or somebody, maybe not feeling good or something, they need to stay on that cart. So you've got to be loud enough that you're with them.
As far as the research thing, Karen's got her work cut out for her, because it's not like you can just Google or Facebook these guys. Huh?
It's huge, and she loves it. She loves the cemetery. Karen has done so much out there, cemetery-wise, with the restoration of the chapel. We have a butterfly garden that the Time to Garden group does, and it's located out in Elmwood Cemetery, and Karen's a part of that. I'm telling you, she is a doer.
Wow.
She is. I love her. Yep.
So in the previous years, have you had anybody stick out
For the performance?
Yes, yes.
I have to tell you, one year there was an actor who had been a slave and ran from the people that had owned him and ran away. He got to a river and had to jump into the river, and the owner let loose the dogs, if you will, to chase his slave. And he was going to run and go through this river. As he's speaking, dogs, I promise you, I can't make this up, ask any of the actors, as he's speaking about being a slave, running away from his owner, and the owner set the dogs loose, dogs started barking and howling over in the neighborhood to the west of the cemetery, and everybody was like, "Oh,
What?
Yes,
That's
it
some
was
Disney
great.
World
That was
stuff.
a fun one.
That
was
is
a fun.
crazy.
Yeah, that was fun. Afterwards, it was scary during. It was
I
fun.
bet. Hey, so
Yes.
do they record any of this so you can watch it back, or the other actors who don't get to see what's going on?
Yeah, they tried to do a video, and it kind of got tough because it's at night and everything, and
Yeah.
there's no power. But they did last year. Rose Ross is one of our actresses every time. She is wonderful.
Her husband, Alan, works for us.
Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Well, her husband came out and
Okay.
videoed on like rehearsal night,
Yeah,
so that
another
everybody
one of
could
our
see it.
own.
There you go. And you didn't know anything about Elmwood. Yeah, that was so. Yes, so that was one fun one that really stuck out.
That's
and
crazy.
I do want to say this, that it is not spooky or scary at all. So if kids are looking for a fun time, it's not like that at all. So it is historical and information and fun, but it is not scary. And I have to tell you, I am the world's biggest chicken. And when I first started with the city and started helping with Elmwood Speaks, I thought, no, I'm not going to be interested in this out in the cemetery at night. You are not afraid or scared out there at all. It's so interesting.
Well, there's
and
probably a
so
lot of
fun.
people.
There is a lot of people. You're in with those golf carts and you ride to the next one and you get to see it. It is so interesting. Yeah.
The dog thing was purely coincidence then.
Pure. And I said, it would have been good. It would have been nice to have taken recognition for that and say, we thought of that, and then we went and, jangled the dog chain or something to get them to bark at us. But no, it was pure luck. It was neat.
Okay, but I do have to ask, is the
Yes.
cemetery haunted?
Well.
You knew I was going to ask
I know. Stories, is it there? Sure. We've all heard, maybe you two haven't, but we've all heard of Annie out at Elmwood Cemetery, a young girl that had died. Her father was a doctor here in Centralia. I learned this through Elmwood Speaks.
Yeah.
And there is a monument out there of Annie, and it's a little girl on the top of a monument with her violin. It's a monument there in the cemetery. And so the story goes that on certain nights at midnight or something, whatever it is, you can hear Annie playing her violin.
So when they portrayed her, did they play a violin?
They had a young lady. Actually, do you know the Socklabens that run Foundation Park? Dave Socklaben and his wife, their daughter was taking violin lessons and playing violin, and they had her portray Annie.
Oh, wow.
And so she came out and spoke and told about being ill as a young child and the trouble that her father had being a doctor, not being able to save her, and they buried her there in Centralia, and then he moved back to be by her stone. They told the whole story, and she played her little violin, the before and the after.
Wow.
And then we also, now I just thought of this, Perry White played a gentleman from the Civil War area who was known for harmonicas, and we set an old rocking chair out there, and he sat in his overalls and his straw hat and everything. And as we pulled up, then he started playing his harmonica and walked up to us and played, and then said, "Hello, I'm so-and-so," and he talked about himself. And then they said, "You all have a good evening," and everybody on the carts claps, and he walked away playing his harmonica.
Nice.
So,
that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
When Shane and I were talking about this, I was like, all right, we have to ask,
Is it haunted?
Is it haunted?
You know what? I have never seen or heard anything out there. I've been fine because I still go back.
Yeah.
If I have, I'm not going back.
You're not going back.
But I did Google, like Annie at Elmwood Cemetery, and there are several articles about you can find people that have been to haunted homes or haunted graveyards, and they've been to Centralia and they've done their research on Annie. And there's stuff on the internet that you can find about, them thinking that it's haunted and why they think that.
You know, I find that stuff very interesting.
It's interesting.
But I would never want to go out there and it actually happen.
No, I don't want to see it. I just want to hear about it.
Yeah, there's a cemetery between Salem and Centralia back in the country called Antioch Cemetery. And the little wise tale is that you run to the back gate and you touch it, and when you run back to the front, it's locked.
It's locked before you get out.
Yeah.
Well, at Elmwood, there's no gates, so we're good getting in and out. We do put up barricades because we do shut the cemetery down, for those nights so we don't have any traffic coming back through there.
Good.
Yeah.
All right, Gayla, one last time. Give us
Yes,
who, what, when, how, where.
Thank you very much. Elmwood Speaks is September 13th through the 16th. That's a Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Sunday will be the matinee type of a show. Tickets are $10 a piece. They sell out very quickly. They are on sale now. You can get those from the Centralia Cultural Society office back on East Rexford, which is behind St. Mary's Hospital. If you need any information, you can call 532-2951, the Cultural Society's office for tickets. And if I could please, just before, I just want to give a huge thank you to all the volunteers. We could not do this without them. We'll have, again, every night, cart drivers, 12 carts going all the time. So that's a whole night they've given away, to be a part of this and make this happen. The actors are out there are not getting paid, to do this. They do that. And God bless Karen Krause. She's retired, and that's what she says. I've got time to do this. I love doing this. And I will have to say this only because I love them. Karen's husband passed away. And Richard was one of my cart captains. We have a cart captain who's out there the entire time with me on each set. Richard was our cart captain for many years. My husband, Jack, has now had to take that over. But we miss Richard very much. And as a matter of fact, last year we did T-shirts in royal blue. We used to always do black Elmwood T-shirts.
Yeah.
We did them last year in royal blue in memory of Richard Krause because he was a huge Trinity school, and they're the Royals. He was a coach, a teacher, a principal, and they're royal blue. And so we did royal blue in memory of Richard last year as my cart captain, and we miss him very much, and we appreciate Karen for all she does.
Yes. All right.
Okay.
Gayla, thank you so much for being
welcome,
here
guys.
today.
Thank you for having me.
It was very interesting.
Good.
Definitely.
Good. If anybody's interested in helping out with driving a cart, they can get a hold of me at City Hall at 533-7623. We get those all put together. We do ask that you would drive the entire evening. We've had a couple people say, could I just drive through one? No, go buy a ticket.
Yeah.
But if you like driving carts, if you like Elmwood Speaks and have been before, you do have to be 16 or over to drive one of the cars for us. We'd be glad to talk to you about helping out.
Awesome.
Okay.
All right. Thanks for being here, and we'll talk with you soon.
All right. Thanks, guys.
You're listening to Centralia on Air with Shane and Rachel. Up next, we got the community calendar, so stick around. We'll be right back. Welcome back. This is Centralia on Air with Shane and Rachel. Here's a look at your community calendar. J. Jolliffe Memorial Golf Tournament on Saturday, August 11th. Start time at noon. Cost is $70 per player or $280 per team. Entry fee includes lunch, dinner, and drinks on the course. All proceeds from the tournament will provide scholarships to district students who will be attending college.
Join Roadhouse Harley-Davidson on Saturday, August 25th from 11 to 10 p.m. for Rockin' for the Troops. help honor all past and present men and women of our armed forces. Roadhouse will have live bands, bounce houses, 50-50 drawing, and much more. This is a family-friendly event. All donations from the raffle will go to the Wounded Warrior Project.
Centralia Balloon Fest weekend starts August 17th through the 19th at Foundation Park in Centralia. 35 hot air balloons, 4 balloon races, 2 balloon glows, fireworks, car show, craft fair, and entertainment. Listen right here all weekend long for updates for the Balloon Fest and what's going on.
The 28th annual Wren Lake Car Show on September 8th from 4 to 9 will be held at the Benton Public Square. Check out over 200 vintage and classic vehicles.
Centralia Fire Protection District is hosting a Glow Bingo at the Centralia Elks on Saturday, September 8th. Doors will open at 6 and bingo will start at 7. $1,000 in cash prizes, 50-50, and cash bar. $20 per person in advance. For more information, call the station at 532-3941.
Movie in the Park on Friday, September 14th at Veterans Memorial Park in Mount Vernon. Enjoy a free movie under the stars on a giant inflatable screen. Beauty and the Beast will start at 7 p.m. Bring your chairs and a blanket, free popcorn, and bottled water.
And don't forget, join the City of Centralia Parks and Cemetery Advisory Committee along with the Centralia Cultural Society for Elmwood Speaks starting Thursday, September 13th through the 16th. Tours fill quickly, so call the Centralia Cultural Society at 532-2951 to reserve your tickets.
A look at your local blood drives. Friday, August 10th at the Times Square Mall in Mount Vernon from 1:30 to 6:30. And Wednesday, August 15th at the Salem Community Center from noon to 6 p.m.
And that's a look at your community calendar on X95 and the Big 1210. If you have an event you would like to share with us, you can email wiley1210@gmail.com. Or for more information about these events and others, check out our website at x95radio.com.
That's it for this week. Feel free to hit us up on Facebook or Twitter this week at X95 Radio if you'd like to comment on anything. If you like what you heard today, come back next Sunday at 11 on X95 and the Big 1210. You can also find past shows on YouTube. Thank you so much for listening, and until next time, she's Rachel Roddy.
And he's Shane Lothar.
And this was Centralia On Air.